many long-standing disputes continue to keep them apart.
The idea that one can be replaced by the other, the United States by China, is terribly dangerous because China is playing its hand, and its hand is to replace all European producers in both agriculture and industry worldwide.
In 2024, the EU ran a $300 billion trade deficit with China. The EU has long accused China of flooding its market with artificially cheap goods. China denies this and says the EU puts up barriers to block Chinese products. There are also differences over the Ukraine war. China has been unwilling to join Europe in isolating Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump's tariffs are forcing many countries to reassess their trading relationships. It remains to be seen whether they can make the compromises necessary to find common ground. Fintan Monaghan, Al Jazeera, for Counting the Cost.
Ian Goldin is a professor of globalization and development at Oxford
with
University. He joins us from there now. Ian, good to have you with us again. What do you make of what's going on right now? To what extent has Donald Trump shot himself, the American economy, and the rest of us in the foot? Do he and his team have any idea what they're doing? Are they working to some master plan or making it up as they're going along?
I think it is deeply shocking. I think we are at the cusp of a major change in geopolitics as a result of this. I think they are making it up as they go along. Clearly, it's driven by some key ideological tenets, not to try and make America great again, but they're going about it in precisely the wrong way. This will slow U.S. growth. It will undermine U.S. productivity and innovation. And of course, it will very much undermine the soft power of the U.S. that it's built over the last 80 years. So what's been done in 80 days, I think, is leading to collapse in trust and is going to severely undermine the U.S.'s standing in the world on a long-term basis. It will take a very long time to recover, if ever, from what's happening at the moment. And of course, at the same time, others are getting on with it. Asia will integrate further and develop much more rapidly as a result of this. And Europe has a key decision to make as to which way it tilts in this new geopolitical structure.
So what's his particular beef with China? Is he raising the stakes to intolerable levels for Beijing to perhaps force them to the negotiating table and do a deal?
Well, tensions between the US and China have been building for a long time. About the only thing that has bipartisan support in the US is this dislike of China. So it's certainly something that Biden was emphasizing as well when he was the president, and the previous Trump presidency also did. I think there is a real concern of loss of them being the preeminent power in the world in the US. We're seeing China's economy growing to overtake the US's in the next 10 years or so. And in the process, also, the soft power of China is growing. So I think it's threatening for US identity. It has been building over a long period of time. Of course, it goes back a long time to the McCarthy era of the post-Second World War period, this distrust of China. It's now, I think, being emphasized by the technological race and by the growth of the Chinese economy. It's counterproductive, of course, because I think the US has benefited from a win-win in this period since China's opened up, since the early 90s. And US consumers have benefited enormously. The US economy has benefited enormously because of China's successes. But it's not the way that it's seen in the White House.
China, of course, isn't taking this lying down. What does this all mean for the rebalancing of global trade? Is it somehow going to force China to seek allies elsewhere in Southeast Asia? Could you see it moving closer to Europe, at least in terms of trade?
Yes, I think it is reinforcing China's commitment to integrate more closely with the Asian region. That was happening anyway because wages have been increasing rapidly in China. China's got a rapidly contracting workforce and growing economy. So it's no longer low-cost production center that was moving offshore to Vietnam, to Cambodia, to many other countries in the region. So that was a trend that was happening that's been accelerated by these tariffs. The further integration of Asia, I think, will proceed more rapidly. If you look at the flows, the investment flows, the people flows, the trade flows, and the digital flows within Asia, we're seeing a big step up in those. So I think we will see this further accelerating integration in Asia and Asia's growth as a result. With Europe, I think there are big decisions to be made by the Europeans. Clearly, that is the option. The center of economic gravity